Packful back with the live stream. Best believe it. And today we're talking about your community and how it affects you, how it affects your success. We're talking about opportunities, how it brings you opportunities. We're talking about how being niche is actually a good move. We're talking about how being niche is a good move. And yeah, we're just enjoying our Saturday, our chill ass Saturday. Shout out to everybody who's gonna tune in. Real shit. We're gonna get woke on today's stream on this Saturday. This nice Saturday. We're just chilling in one of the houses. We're just chilling in a house. Chilling in a house for a little bit until our chat fills up a little bit, and then we're gonna go move outside and spark this up, debate and start discussing our conversations and stuff like that. Yeah. You know how it is. I'm always coming out here, Packful, always coming out here to try to bring more value into your life, add value into your life. Without really, caring about what people think, what people know, the risk. But yeah, we finna head out here soon and go enjoy the nice weather, and we gonna start up a little bit of a stream where we talk about these ideas. Because believe it or not, your community is gonna impact your success. And nowadays, everyone wants to be good at everything when the truth is like having a niche is actually really helpful, and why it's gonna be like woke and shit like that. But yeah, we're just waiting for chat to fill up, and then I'm finna go outside, and we're not gonna be inside and shit. But yeah, I'm just gonna give us a few seconds here and shit like that. Talking about whether you should stay in your environment, move out of your environment, whether and what the benefits is, how to move and get the most out of moving, and how to stay. But yeah, we finna go hit up the view. I'll pause the live stream. I'll be right back. It'll be 15 seconds. Real quick, I'm gonna step outside for a nice, lovely view. Shout out Spody in the chat. Here's where we're chilling at for today. Out here in the meadows. Let me do a little fit check. I got that shit on. But yeah, we just out here in the meadows today, chilling, Packful Nation. Real shit. It's a little windy in the meadows. But yeah. So yeah, I'm out here in my regular reflection area where I come here to reflect on all of life and come up with crazy knowledge and shit that's gonna add value to your life. And today, I'm gonna dive right back into where we left off. Today we were talking about how your community is gonna affect your life and your success. right? So you just got to catch my drift here. So your community, where everyone's born in a different place. Everyone's born in a different location. Everyone's born in a different area. And where you're born, that's your community, and that's going to greatly define the opportunities you find in your life. So what I mean is, like, if you're born somewhere, like, yeah, no, you get better, you might get different opportunities than somewhere else, right? And people think that it's just like completely random. I mean, it is, but ultimately what's going to matter is your heart, your ability to work hard. That's what's going to be the ultimate outcome. What defines your success, what defines your success is going to be whether or not is going to be, the first thing is going to be your ability to work hard or not. That's going to be the most important factor in your success, is whether your ability to work hard or not. And now one of the next important things in your success is going to be the opportunities and shit that you encounter in your life. And those are the ones that are defined by your community and shit like that. So what I mean is like, yeah, you might be born in a family with a generational long history of making bread or something, and so you have an advantage of just continuing the legacy of making bread. Like, that's a advantage that you have due to your community and your environment of where you were born and where you live and stuff. Real spill. And you know what? It doesn't happen overnight. It's not just gonna be instant success. Like, what success is gonna be it's gonna be a long period of time where you're focusing on those opportunities. It's gonna be a period of time where it's going to be a long period of time of you focusing on the opportunities that your community has presented you. So that's how people truly become successful. It's like they've spent hella long in the same field or doing the same thing that they just happen to fall into due to the environment and due to the things like that. Due to their environment. Whatever you fall into, if you spend, let's just say you were born into a family where they make a lot of like loaves of bread, like a bakery, right? So then you learn how to bake bread at a very young age. That shit is gonna be, you're gonna be, if you spend all your time making those loaves of bread, you're gonna be the best pizza dough, whatever bread maker ever. If you just were like started at, from whenever you were a kid, like just played to your strengths because you were born in that field. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Your community is gonna give you the opportunities for success, whether it's like you're born and then in this place and then they give you this opportunity and then that turns into your success, right? It plays a huge part in that shit. So people they move out of their community and some people stay in their communities for a long time, and it's risky. Moving is just as risky. Moving is risky because what happens when you risk is like, or what happens when you move is like, you may encounter more opportunities if you keep traveling and more knowledge, but you may never have to spend the enough time, you know. They may not have enough time and shit, like, yeah, like, they may not have enough, like, because it takes time, like I said, it takes time with these opportunities. You know, it's not just gonna be an opportunity, and it's like, because it's literally hella. It takes hella time with a good amount of luck. So like, here's a good example with Bill Gates, for example. Like, became a billionaire off of like computers and computer nerd shit, and like that shit was basically like, bro, he he had always been working on computers in school, but like before computers were even a thing, he was working on like the pre-evolution of computers. And then what happened was he happened to live in one of the cities where they just happened to have the first real computer, because he happened to like, yeah, so he basically already had a passion, and then he got his community gifted him with an opportunity, which is the new computer. So that is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When your community is gonna help your path to success. That's a story of how path to success was made, because he had been a computer geek, and then just happened that his one of his city was like the first that actually got, or his school was one of the first, because of like somebody he knew or something, like somebody up, and his whole little board, there was a board, and like they happened to be the first ones to get this computer, this new type of computer and shit. So like he was he was the first one. Like, that's how he got to become such a billionaire, was because he already had a passion, and then his community saw that he had a passion too, and literally just like real shit like that. And shout out Spody in the chat, real shit, real brother, bro. Make sure you listen to him on SoundCloud, Spody, for real. And this is another thing too, is like, people you may live it, but like, if you don't acknowledge this, and you're a shut-in, and you do not acknowledge your community is gonna be the backbone of your success, basically. Like, it's gonna play a part. If you don't acknowledge this, you're gonna miss out on opportunities. Like, if you're just a shut-in who, as I was saying yesterday, we were speaking about being adamant and not giving a fuck about what people think. But if you completely don't care about your community, and you are completely isolated, even, and just never interact with your community, you're gonna miss out on opportunities that your community would offer. So like, if Bill Gates just never give a fuck, you know what I mean? Like, type shit. So just be open to the idea that like, be open to your community. I'm not saying you should, like, just, you should be in awkward, like, you should be in different situations, you know? Like, it should not always, like, with your community, just, yeah, play the role, and you'll get some opportunities within your community and shit. But if you hide from your community, they're not really gonna be looking to give you the opportunities. But even going out and interacting with your community is still gonna be always like, it's gonna give you opportunities. It may start with something small, but you know, like, you may meet somebody who's affiliated with a corporate and like corporation, and like may be able to get you, like, and it could change your life somehow, real shit. So it's like, anyways, and we're talking about having a niche. And people like, so yeah, opportunity over time is gonna create value, and the more niche of a subject you pick is basically the better, because like, yeah, the more niche of something, People just don't know. We're all moving with a blindfold on, and so people are trying to be the jack of all spades. But literally, the more niche of a subject you pick, as long as you're not being a complete isolated and shut in person, the more niche of a subject you pick is literally gonna be like, we're all walking blindfolded, and you're gonna just become more of a master, because it could take somebody also 10 years just for the 11th year to make more progress in 1 year than they made in 10 years. It could take just 10 years of work just to hit 1 year to where you learn more in just 1 year. So that's why you should always continue with your thoughts and stuff, bro, because like that shit literally, you never know, bro. Like some of these people out here spend 10 years learning some shit just for them to figure out more shit in 1 year. And like that shit just is crazy, bro. But it's like, it's necessary, but like, yeah, that's not everyone's case. Some people don't, some people can learn shit quicker, but like, yeah. And like some people just have the idea of like of something like a fruit, but you can't just have the idea of a fruit. You just have to like go, like, think about this in primal caveman times. You can't just like have the idea of like a fruit. You need to actually go out there and get a fruit. And when you're going out there and getting a fruit, what if you run into a group of like vegans, and then they're just talking, or not, a group of like, or forget the fruit, say a piece of meat. You got to go out there and get the piece of meat, and then you run into a group of people who are just a group of vegans talking about a piece of meat, and they're just talking about how to get a piece of meat. That's not going to benefit you. Like, they're just a bunch, and they don't even eat meat themselves. They're just a random group, a soul group, or a lost group of fools who like talk about eating meat even though they're vegan, and you just happen to stumble upon it. But and then when you say where's the meat at, they're just actually just talking about it. Like the whole, like, that's not gonna, you need a piece, you're gonna starve if that's what you rely on, because they're eating their vegetables on the side and not even telling you. And they're just talking about eating meat, like talking about like just on some weird shit, bro, on some weird shit. I'm talking about in primal caveman times, trying to make this real simple for whoever, just, for the audience and shit, like real shit, bro. But like, so that's why, like, you just gotta get that shit, bro. You can't talk about it, you gotta be about it. Like, pick a niche shit, like, and just pick some niche stuff and like really just build on it, like learn more. Because like, consider every niche thing. I know that people have good intellect out there, in the chat. So whatever you have already picked is already going to be a good thing to work off of, and just like spend as much time. Don't be like just switching it up, bro. Just like spend time on it. Like, literally, that's the key to success. That's how people literally become the masters at their craft, is because they just happen to live like in a certain area. They got the right opportunities, the right community supporting them, giving them more opportunities, and it's a niche thing, and they've already spent time doing it. No one's ever gonna get to their level if it's like that, and that happens. It's just all about playing to your strengths and playing to your cards. Like, everyone is born different with different opportunities that they can come up off of. That they could come up off of, bro. And I don't talk about the same shit that all the other foods talk about. Like, I don't talk about this. I'm talking about some real shit. Like, this isn't some the stars and all this shit. You know what I'm saying, bro? This is some real. I don't talk about the same shit the other foods talk about. So that's just some real shit too, right there. Like, you don't catch me saying I don't talk about nothing the other foods talk about. Like, these foods over here they're like, oh, maybe if I spend 15 years of scrolling on TikTok, then I can actually learn how to have a good sense of humor, and I'll learn what's funny and shit. And that's what's embedded in their mind. And guess what? The whole time they could have been funny if they just sent the TikToks to Foos, and Foos would have interpreted them in the right way. And then they just would spending countless hours on some shit that don't even matter, because they could have done it the right way at step one, but they never even learned that shit until 10,000 hours later down the road, when they're like, oh, there's a little button that I could press share, and people would actually get it. Like, And instead, they're just thinking about these things, having them saved, and trying to apply them to real world scenarios. It don't even add up. They're like referencing it and shit in their conversation, trying to be funny or whatever. And then it's like, bro, you literally could. Maybe people just want to be sent like things, like TikToks, bro. Like instead of like having you tell trying to be funny and shit like that. So maybe if you're not funny, you could just send somebody TikToks instead of trying to tell a joke. And that shit could have actually saved you countless hours of scrolling through TikTok. Oh, I wish I was funny. I wish I was funny. But whatever. I'm not to say what is important in life and like what completes. I'm not gonna judge like anyone's journey, bro. Like some people literally come exist for the most peculiar reasons, bro. So it's justified, and it's not right to be like judging them on it. But in this day and age, as I said, people move out their community, they transfer community to community, and nobody, you could just say you're something else that you're not even. You could say you're whatever the fuck you want to say you are, and people will go with it. Like you could just say all of a sudden that you have some sort of something going on in your brain, like you have ADHD. People are going to be like, oh yeah, that person has ADHD. It's just an excuse. Literally sometimes that like, in this day and age you can get away with, like literally you could just say whatever. You don't have to belong anywhere. You could fit in anywhere with just if you just say the right words. Like literally you could convince. It's the most accepting age of time, because back then they would have been like, oh hell no. They would have just seen you and just been like, they would have been able to tell what the hell you were. Like it's because even in today's time you can do that, but there's still this woke, like where they just be like, whatever, bro, we got to be accepting of that food just because of this, blah blah blah. So even though we know but he says something else. So it's like, that's what I'm targeting, bro. Like not targeting, but talking about is like, yeah, man, you could really fit in anywhere. You don't have to stay. You don't have to stay to one community. You could squeeze into whatever random community you feel like squeezing in, bro. So like people who like to travel and move all the time and don't really like to play like a nomad. Because I'm saying you shouldn't be a nomad. You should spend time in one community long enough for them to be chill with you and give you more opportunities and more tasks. And that's how you can benefit off of communities the best, is by spending time. But like if you're just a nomad, like you don't if you're shut in and you don't get involved with your community, like damn, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. But like, yeah, I'm finna wrap up this stream, bro. Like that's all I wanted to basically say, is just like, yeah, like, and having a good niche, like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, if you travel a bunch, like you're gonna try to master, you'll learn a lot of everything, you'll master a bunch of random stuff. But it's like the people who really exceed happen to have picked a niche before it even mattered, and then somehow it just linked together where their community decided that they needed that it can go further. Like for real, they're like, yeah, this person is enthusiastic about this thing and it actually makes sense. It doesn't make sense for somebody living in the desert to care about snowboarding and obsess about snowboarding, right? But if you actually live in the mountains or some shit, like, and it makes sense for you to, and then you care about it and it's a niche thing, then it makes sense, and it makes sense for it to be niche. Then that's literally how foods get to the next level, and not just success, but like after that, like crazy exponential shit. Like that's how they become world famous, known, like masters of their craft, is by having a niche, and then that niche actually becoming valuable as fuck over time. But nobody's caught on to it. Real shit. But thanks for everyone tuning in from the bottom of my heart. You know, I don't talk like the mother foods do. I actually talk about this real stuff, bro.